Hello everybody, welcome to Mr. Heins Explains. Today we're going to be talking about participles. So as always, if you could airdrop it, or not airdrop it, go ahead and send it to Notability. Make sure it's in English 10. Alrighty, easy peasy. And let's get started. So today we're going to talk about participles. Now, this is our last type of verbal phrase. Let's make sure that's in black color today. This is our last type of verbal phrase, and participles are verbals, remember, which are verbs acting as other parts of speech. So remember, those are verbs when they act as other parts of speech. Sorry. All right. So they are verbals that act like adjectives in a sentence. Okay. And what I mean by that is, when we talk about adjectives, remember, adjectives are words that describe nouns or pronouns. So those are the words that tell us more about nouns or pronouns. So for example, in our example here, we have the noun flag. Okay, so if we pictured a flag over here, a couple of stars, some stripes, and we wanted to describe that flag, we have the word waving. And so waving is describing the noun flag here. And waving, we usually see that as an action, right? However, it's describing the noun flag, and so therefore it is actually a participle. Now, participial phrases contain, obviously, participles and the words that help explain the participle further. Okay? So, when we look at this sentence below, surprised by the sudden movement, I dropped my phone. This is all describing me. I, surprised by the sudden movement, dropped my phone. It's all describing it, and it's all started with this word. That's our action. Normally an action, but it's being used here as a description. Okay? Now, participles are kind of hard to spot, so I gave you a couple of steps on how to figure it out. Step 1, find the noun. So remember, find that person, place, thing, or idea. So find that thing. Second, does it have a description? We'll say a description near it, just for sake of being precise. Does it have a description near it? If not, great, you're done. But if it does, then move to step 3. If so, is it an action? With some of the endings below. So I gave you some endings below that are common participle endings. So here's another one that uses ing, and this is where we need to remember that with gerunds, if it ends in ing, it has to be a noun. So there's that common distinction, okay? Other examples of endings that we use for participles are ed, d, en, n, or t, okay? And so if you found that thing, that's probably a participle. But remember, participle phrases aren't just the participle, they're also the words that help explain it. So if you did find one of those actions, does it have further explanation. Okay, so make sure that you not only find um, the participle, but if it has any extra explanations with it, you need to find those too. Remember, back up here we saw, sure, we have the word surprised, but we're also describing why or like how we're surprised when we say the words by the sudden movement, okay? So not only are we just being surprised, but we're giving a little bit more description right here, okay? That's what I mean by step 4. And that's part of the phrase. All right, this notes check is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give you a little bit of practice here. On the next slide are a few sentences with participles and gerunds. What I'd like you to do is find and underline the phrase being used and then tell me if it's a gerund or a participial phrase. So you're going to take the sentence. So if I go back up to my example up at the top of the thing, if I found the phrase surprised by a sudden movement, and I'd say, oh, this one's a participial phrase. That easy. All right. All right. Go ahead and finish those last 6 sentences, and then submit it for a check.